Hi everyone, we are here in Stelle di Monte, Monte Tuscany. A few months ago we have for second time our guest friend Daniela and Mark, who actually work for Mark working for a company which is called Fiesta, who makes spices, and he was kind enough to just bring some of their spices here in Monte. The spices are really good, so I came up with a recipe and watched me blend different kind of their spices. Now I'm going to show you how to do this recipe. The recipe is basically a beef stew and then roasted with their spices. 5 different kind of their spices. So what I select is a chicken wrap, is a fajita seasoning, a brisket rib, the Uncle Chris gourmet steak, and the lime pepper. This one will be blended all together using the proportion I will show you. First of all, we have to cook this piece of meat, which is beef. You have to select your beef based on quality. And of course, they have to have a marble of fat and tender inside. So I will suggest to use or a brisket or a shank, the boneless shank. What we're going to do now first is just keep it simple like that and cook for at least 4 hours to a stock, very rich stock, using carrot, onion, celery, ground pepper, rosemary and sage. So that is how the stock look like. First of all, you have to fill it with the cold water, then put all the vegetable and spices inside and fresh herb, and then make it boiled. After that, you put inside the meat. So now for the second part of the recipe, we're going to mix together the spices. I selected also chicken wrap because it's quite nice. Also, if the preparation is a beef, doesn't mean. I will use 1 teaspoon of chicken wrap, 3 of brisket wrap, 2 of Uncle Chris gourmet steak seasoning, and then just a half fajita seasoning for finishing. Oh, it's boiling already, so now we're going to put in the meat. This one is a 2 pound of meat for the proportion of the spices that I give you. Here we are. You just use a spoon to just and let it cook for 4 hours now. So now that we have mixed all the spices, we will put on a pan. First you have to reheat the pan, then you put the spices on it. Let's allow the spices to get more strong on perfume. When it's going to be slightly toasted, you add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. That will be our preparation for then coated the meat after it will cook on the water. So now I add the olive oil. As you can see, it will generate like a kind of paste. Then it will give more power to the meat. Yeah, that is the final result. Yeah, that is the consistency you want. So now let's do some grocery for the garnish. So here we have our herb and vegetable garden. It's a bit messy, but I like messy. You have to be creative, right? Here we are going to pick up some different tomatoes, some eggplant, and some zucchini. So that is what we're going to serve our garnish for the meat tonight. Et voilà! So now for the garnish, we need one eggplant, good bunch of mixed cherry tomatoes, fresh basil, zucchini flower, and some onion. So we start with the eggplant. We cut it first, the upper part, and then we just peel it, but not completely. You have to do like a stripe on the eggplant, like that. Then, when it's finished to peel like that, just cut it on big chunk. Like that. So now we have cut the eggplant. We put in a strainer like that, and just we add a pinch of salt on it. That we allow to take out the water and the bitterness of the eggplant. So we cut the tomato and then we add the basil. Basil, that is more important. You have never have to cut the basil with a knife. We just break the leaves with the hand. That is will keep its existing perfume and will not alterate the taste of the basil. Now then we chop the onion. We will slightly cook just in olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it. Put this in a small pan and just put olive oil. That's will allow now the caramelization of the onion. We add a bit of honey, just a teaspoon of honey, which is allowed to add a bit more the sweetness on the onion. And then when it's hot, still hot, very hot, you put on the preparation of the tomato and basil. So here we are. I add a bit of salt and just a teaspoon of honey, and we let it cook until the onion is caramelized. The onion is being cooked for about 8 to 10 minutes, and at this point we will add some of apple vinegar, and then we let him evaporate. So now you can see the vinegar is evaporate, and what we're going to do now is take it, oil becomes very hot, and put on the tomato and basil, like that. That's allowed to basically marinated the tomato and slightly cook, but not, they will remain crunchy. Now we just mix a bit and we let him rest on the fridge for about 6 to 8 hours. So what we have done so far, when the meat was cooked, we actually let them cool down on the stock. So this is what will avoid to the meat will dry up. After now we go to the second step of the preparation is the marination with the spices. So first of all you have to cut at least a portion size. I just trim it for make more nice the piece. So here we are. This one you can use for other preparation like a salad or things like that. And we put like that. So in aluminum foil, the spices, we start to coat it all around the meat. So as you see, it has to be a bit thick, because when it's going to be on the oven, it will be the moisture of coming out of the meat, and then the spices will be helping to coat it up all the perfume of the spices. Now we turn it, put again spices around it. Here we go. So now what we're going to do is to put a bit more olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, on the meat, and then cover it up with aluminum foil. So this one we allow all the spices during the cooking process to get enter inside of the meat. This will look like a cooker pressure, basically. Press very well so sure that all the steam will remain inside. So now we have finished to packaging. You just put it on the oven plate, and then they will rest on the fridge for another 4 to 5 hours. Then we will cook at a temperature of 220 degrees Celsius for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So now we start to prepare the garnish. As you see, the meat is in the oven right now for cooking, and meanwhile we prepare the garnish. You see the eggplant now, the water is coming out. That is all water with the bitterness on it. So we put flour, cake flour, basically, 0-0, and we just with the hand we twist it like that. So the excesses of flour will drop on the dish, and we just coated literally the eggplant. The meat is cooking. We're going to fry the eggplant. Be careful on the when you put it on the oil. No need to put too much, otherwise the temperature of the oil will decrease and they become soggy. So now it is cooked. We just take it out and put on the recipe. Be careful, you have to drain all the oil. Now we put a bit of garlic powder and the lime pepper, just a bit to regulate a bit the acidity. And then we mix it. We put a bit of salt also, and put it. Now for the meat, as you can see, is popping up. That's why that is because all the humidity of the meat they just release, and then it cannot escape. So all the flavor, all the perfume of the spices concentrate on the side of this one. It doesn't go up. So out. So now the trick is. I want to give a bit more color on the meat, so I want to open up and put in the oven 250 degrees Celsius, so very fast, just for give a bit of caramelization of meat on the top. Now look at that. A bit of olive oil on the top like that. Very put inside the oven. On 50 Celsius. So now for the garnish, we have the eggplant, we have the tomato, what we have done yesterday, the marination of the tomato. We put on it, on the eggplant, like that. And then we put also the zucchini, the raw zucchini flour, just, and then we twist it all together. You see the color? And that it will be all marinated all together like that. For the dressing now, we use a black dish because of the color, the yellow color or red color of the tomatoes. It will be much more evident on the black dish. We put it like that, casually. Here we are. This is a dish is very summer dish. A lot of eggplant, a lot of vegetable, zucchini flower actually is part of the summer vegetable. So now we cut all the spices in excess. We cut them. Look at that. It's falling apart, it's so tender. Wow. Look at that. And we just like that. And here we are. A bit of olive oil on the top. That's it. Shall we? When I try new dish, is always stand. I've always been a chef, and usually we don't sit down for eating. Yes, it's super buono. Oh, look at that. You can actually cut without using a knife. So tender. Let's see. I should ask for a raise with a nobile Montepulciano. Wow. Oh, yeah. Want to try? You actually taste the spices is unbelievable. The taste is wow. It's really good. Really good. Happy with the result.